Shalom, Yasharala. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and every well. And salutation and much love for you, I kept pushing this truth as necessary on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So, which was kind of funny here is, hey, Russia's been in the news a lot lately as far as the so-called aggression, right? But them being the recipients of these things, right? But now, you hear more and more of this saber rattling right now. Now we're coming into a time now where, hey, Russia is getting back into the development of these here weapons again, all right? And now they're also, not to say bragging and boasting, but they're more or less standing their grounds, all right? It says, Putin says Russia developing high-tech nuclear and laser weapons, warning provocateurs will regret crossing countries' red lines, all right? And so we also see how these prophecies are starting to speak loud and clear. You have the wars and the rumors of wars. You got the situation out there in the Ukraine, all right, where the West is still over there trying to get up on the Russian doorsteps. But also at the same time, Russia's standing their ground, and they're still developing this here technology, all right, which scripture goes into that. Prepare thyself and they that are with thee, all right? So we're going to get into that today. It says Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that the vast majority of the country's Soviet-era atomic stockpile will soon be replaced by modern weapons, warning that Moscow is intent on defending itself against foreign aggression. All right, and if you know about this technology and the things that they have, and I've been saying this for quite a while. America and both America and Russia, all right, for the most part, they're all using all the same old technology that they had in World War II. All right, they ain't really developed too much of new things now. America's developing what they call dual weapons, like direct energy weapons or laser weapons. All right, and Russia, they've advanced their their missile defense system. So technically, Russia's got a little bit of an edge on them. But as far as a couple years ago, you seen Russia and them come out with these hypersonic missiles. All right, nuclear powered cruise missiles. All right, this is them also advancing their technologies. All right, so let's read about this here jump. It says, speaking as part of his annual address to the Federal Assembly in Moscow on Wednesday, Putin said that his government wants to have positive relations with everyone on the international stage, including those whom relations have broken down recently. We really don't want to burn bridges. And in reality, when you really understand what's going on, it's funny because they always paint the picture that Russia is the aggressor. They're the bad guys. They're the bad guys. They're the bad guys. But hey, man, as far as back as I can tell, man, Vladimir Putin is man, he's holding back restraint, man. I remember a couple years back, he was speaking in one day, and he was saying, he was like, look, man, he was speaking to the American citizens, basically. He was like, look, man, y'all need to, basically roughly paraphrasing, he was like, yo, y'all need to talk to y'all mans and them over there because, hey, man, y'all just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And if I got to press the button, which I don't want to have to press the button, but if I got to press the button, man, all y'all going to cease to exist. So I'm begging and I'm pleading with you. The words that he was using, like, look, bro, talk to y'all people over there, man. Like, yo, we don't want to have to come over and put the thing on y'all, man. All right. And this is the same sentiment that they have today, man. All right. It says, Putin said that his government wants to have positive relations with everyone on the international stage, including those whom relations have broken down recently. We really don't want to burn bridges, saying like, look, bro, we don't want to have to take it there. We don't want to fight. That one dude that's out there, somebody over there talking all that shit, and he's like, look, bro, I don't want to fight you, bro, man. Go on, bro. I don't want to fight you, man. Go on, bro. And then it's like some little dude is picking on this big dude, and the big dude is like, bro, just go on, bro. I don't want to fight you. Because the big dude already know if he had to swing, he going to knock old boy out, and it's not going to be good for him, right? But the little man over here still messing with him. And then when the big dude just go ahead and lay the smack down on his ass, now everybody want to look at him like he the bad guy. Like, man, I try to tell his ass, man, but this is what we have going on. All right, but ultimately, this is all according to prophecy, man. All right, see, like the scripture say, he being his own steps is leading him to the king of terrors, man. He about to meet his own demise, man. All right. At the same time, however, he cautioned that those who mistake this stance for weakness need to know that Russia's response to any aggression will be asymmetrical, swift, and harsh. They ain't playing. Like I just said with the big dude and the little dude. The big dude is like, look, bro, I ain't scared of you, cuz. It's not that I'm scared of you. I ain't no bitch or nothing like that. I just know that if I put my hands on you, everybody gonna look at me like I'm the bad guy. And, bro, you really don't want the smoke, bro. You just all bark and no bite. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly what Russia's like, man. It's like, look, bro, like, already with the weapons y'all got and the weapons that we got, you can't stop us from bombarding your ass. Your missile defense systems cannot stop the bombardment of Russian missiles, bro, already. And we still developing shit. And y'all just trying to come up on what y'all got going on, bro. We already way more advanced than y'all. You don't want the smoke, bro, so just calm down over there, man. All right, leave us alone. We ain't invading the whole planet. We just sitting over here, just chilling in our own little area, trying to take care of our own people. But y'all keep pushing the bear. All right. It says, let me read that again. And at the same time, however, he cautioned that those who mistake this stance for weakness need to know that Russia's response to any aggression will be asymmetrical, swift, and harsh. Those planning provocations, he said, will regret their deeds in the way that they have not regretted anything else for a long time. All right, and so, hey, also going into the scriptures, about, the pride of his heart has deceived him. Ultimately trying to go up against the Most High, and break prophecy and fight Yahushua and win. But on a smaller scale, bro, again, this is all according to prophecy, so really you ain't got no control over these things. But you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, dog, make sure you got your shit together before you start talking shit to another person, and then when they go to swing on your ass, you wasn't ready. Right now, this is what America's doing. They over there surrounding them and everything like that, and like, all right, y'all over here, spending your money on your military budget, but you ain't really getting your bang for your buck. Your shit is still falling behind, while the people that you threatening, they got way more advanced equipment than you, and then they still advanced in shit. And then you want to pull yourself out the nuclear armament agreement with their ass. It's like, well, you only making it worse on your own self, man. All right? And you slandering their name in the news and the media all damn day long. In terms of, they plotting into the elections and so on and so forth. Like, man, ain't nobody plotting into the damn elections, man. But they over there making them look like the bad guy, or they over here stealing these countries and everything like that. But, hey, man, this is what America does, man. Put sanctions on their own allies for buying Russian oil. But America's the only one that's buying Russian oil. Come on, man. All right? As part of the country's plan to defend itself, he said, its stockpile of strategic weapons is currently being overhauled, updating older Soviet-era equipment in favor of next-generation technology such as hypersonic and laser armaments. All right, going into the scriptures in Ezekiel 38 about putting the hooks into his jaws, man. All right, you see, they're being brought back, to that Soviet Union. All right, that the USSR state, basically, that big powerhouse for one. But at that point in time, man, it was like, you had really, it was only Germany, and Germany came out of nowhere with their shit, man. They just came out of nowhere. That was under Hitler's reign, which wasn't that long. But before all that, you already had Russia. They had their little program running. They was already strong at that point in time, man. And you had Britain, but it was a conglomeration of them already. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, Russia was pretty much standing alone, man. All right, but then after the Cold War era and everything like that, America pretty much went in on them, turned them into a third world country. All right, but then Vladimir Putin got into office. All right, and that was those hooks being put back into their jaws, and from there he brought back their economic state, their infrastructure. All right, their positioning in the global market as far as trading. All right, and exporting natural gas and energy and things like that, and also exporting weapons. But not only that, but upgrading and like upgrading and perfecting their weapons, man. All right. It says, among the overhaul, he revealed that the advanced RS-28 Cermat missile will be delivered to troops in the field from 2022. Now, this RS-28 Cermat missile, right? Now, this is what NATO calls, this one here is the Satan II, right? This is what NATO calls Satan II. They got another one before that was the Satan I. And really the difference in the two missiles is basically, it's really a vehicle. It's not even the missile. It's not the warhead, it's the vehicle. The missile part, right? Now, the first one that they had, it was a big-ass intercontinental ballistic missile. But this one here, right, the difference in this is, and what makes it way better is the fact of, so once you shoot a missile off, right, and it has to have time to travel and everything like that, they pretty much go off in an arc fashion. So you'll be able to tell, with calculations and everything like that about how high it go, where it's going to drop down at, right? So if you have your missile defense system and you quick enough, you can shoot off a missile and put your missile in that missile's path, and they will collide, and that would be your missile defense system, right? But with this one, this is the upgraded version. This is the Satan II missile, right? Now, the difference between this one is that they can launch this bad boy off, right? And, let's say, like, if Russia launches this off, right, and America sends off their missile defense systems to knock it out the sky, what this missile will do is a smart missile, right? What they call smart missiles. It'll be able to detect that, something that picked us up on the radar, and it'll either slow down, all right, meaning that it's not going to be in a location where once you shoot off your missile, you can't do nothing about that, right? Meaning that it's going to meet the opposing missile at a certain time in a certain location. But if the Russian missile slows down, that means it's going to arrive at that location at a later time, meaning that the other missile's already been passed by. Or if it just move a little to the left, move a little to the right, move a little up, move a little down, or just change its whole path, in total, All right, so this is what makes this here missile that much more dangerous, because look, man, you've been shot off all your damn missiles trying to stop this one missile, and all it's doing is changing its path, and you already got all your defense missiles off in the air, and it just changes its path, man, and it still hit its target, man. And not only on top of that, like I said, this here system, this Cermat missile, all right, is basically just the body of the missile, the vehicle part, right? But the warhead, now the tip of this missile, right, these things can hold up to 15 different warheads on the inside. Now, they don't always have to have 15 different warheads. They can have what they call duds in there, right? Like fake ones, decoy ones. So you see these 15 different missiles raining down. You only got a couple shots to shoot off. You pick which ones you're going to try to hit. Now, you might try to shoot one missile off, and you might just hit a dud or a decoy. And then you still got 14 more missiles actually warheads actually raining down on your ass, man. All right? But, hey, and nevertheless, so let's say they shoot off one of these missiles, all right, but then another missile or something like that comes off and blows up the target. While this here missile is still in the air, they can recalculate and go find a whole nother target and change direction and go hit that shit, man. All right, so, hey, man, these missiles, these are these new smart missiles, man. All right, they can change their targets. America they don't got nothing like that, nothing comparable to this, man. All right, they don't even, and I believe their Minuteman missiles may have, I think, 3 to 5 warheads or something like that. It's not as many, and they nowhere near in comparison to these missiles, man. All right, but it says a heavy intercontinental ballistic missile. It boasts up to 15 nuclear warheads, which can direct against individual targets, such and each deliver a 350 kiloton of atomic hellfire, bro. And so these things is like what they call the Texas killer, man, because one of these, like I said, what you look at as a missile, right? Oh, this is one thermonuclear missile. Is really, that's just the one vehicle. This one vehicle can deliver 15 different warheads. They can launch off one of these bad boys and wipe all of Texas off the map, off the face of the earth, man, with just one of these bad boys, man. You see what I'm saying? This shit ain't nothing to play with. This is why when the scriptures say, hey, man, this is the Lord's weapons of his indignation, man. He's raising up the king of the Medes and his devices against Babylon to destroy the land, man, and make it wholly desolate, man. This is why the whole earth is going to reel to and fro, because, like I said, one of these bad boys, first of all, if one warhead go off, man, all right, the way that they could tell if there's a nuclear bomb's been detonated, like if people are testing it, because there's what they call a seismic waves, like an earthquake type of thing. The earth actually vibrates a little bit, right? So, like, if they do underground tests and everything like that, the Richter scales go off, you know what I'm saying? And it's not as big as an earthquake unless you're right there beside it. But nevertheless, with these things here, like I said, one of them go off, you're going to feel it. So imagine one of these vehicles with 15 warheads coming down. That's just one of them bad boys. It's going to feel like an earthquake around you. Now, imagine them shooting off 10 of these bad boys with 15 missiles apiece, or 15 warheads apiece. That's 150 warheads raining down on your ass, man. That's only with 10 of these so-called missiles going up into the air with 15 warheads apiece, man. All right, so when the scripture talking about 200 million missiles, man, hey, man, come on now. It says, ship-mounted missiles and other next-generation projectiles are also slated for development in the near future. According to the president, more than 2/3 of the Russian military equipment will be modern at the end of the next 3 years, while more than 88% of its nuclear weapons will be this year as well. Putin also referenced a secretive laser cannon that is said to have the potential to shoot down both enemy aircraft and incoming missiles, which, this is going into their laser systems and things like that, what they dub satellite killers, right? Because they can shoot these into space and everything, man. All right. These weapons are reportedly already been deployed to installations across the country. We have patience, self-confidence, and righteousness on our side. Hey, the Lord is ultimately on their side, man. All right. Putin added, I hope no one will think of crossing the red lines in their relations with Russia. Where that line sits is ours to determine. The U.S. currently reported developing a $100 billion ground-based intercontinental ballistic system to replace its Cold War-era Minuteman III rockets. However, it's come under criticism from experts, with the Federation of American Scientists arguing that the program has been driven by industry lobbying rather than the genuine need for launch complex in a post-Cold War security environment. And, hey, man, you see, America's falling way behind, man. And this is one thing that America like to do, man. They like to write these big-ass checks for these projects and let their people sit there and take all the damn money, and then they're like, oh, well, you done paid us for a $100 million job on this here building, but we're going to basically take and maybe spend $10 million on the equipment and shit to build this here building. We're going to take the other $90 million and put it in our own pockets, man. So this is why they actually falling behind with everything, man. All right. Ezekiel 38 and time's sake, we're gonna go to verse 4. It says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. All right, being turned back. Like I was saying earlier, they was a very dominant military at that point in time, man, in World War II time, man. All right, in fact, in history, I don't think nobody's ever invaded Russia and been successful with it. All right, but nevertheless, they was a very dominant power at that point in time, man. All right, you had Stalin and them. You had these other guys beforehand, but it ended with Stalin that was ruling. I think you had Lenin and Trotsky and all them guys, but before that or after that, you had Stalin, and that was one thing that Adolf Hitler pondered. He was like, because he was fighting a war in the East and the West, and he was like, man, I don't know if Stalin gonna invade me or not, or whatnot, but I can't take no chances. So he decided to go over there. Stalin wasn't gonna fuck with him anyway, but hey, that's just how it ended up. But anyway, it says, and this is how you have all this. This is why only Russia and America got all this top technology. They just raided Germany at the end of World War II, man. All right, and so these are the only people that's really developing these types of missiles and things like that, and they sell it off to these other nations, right? It says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, all right? Even a great company with bucklers and shields, and all of them handling swords, right? Most of the time when we go into this, we talk about these other nations buying their missile defense systems, all right, going into the bucklers, the shields, and the helmets, all right, which Russia is also advancing in those things, man. They got some shit that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's just one thing for you to be able to have a missile to shoot another missile out of the sky, but with the S-400, really what comes into play is the fact that they got the radars, man. These radars is something serious. They can see you from a long-ass way, and they can see stealth planes, all right? And it's a big major system, just like how the F-35 is like one of them planes connect to all the other planes, you know what I'm saying? And if one plane pick up on this radar that somebody done shot a missile at another plane and the other pilot in the other plane don't even see it, the first plane is going to automatically shoot off a missile anyway to go defend the other plane without either pilot even knowing or anybody doing anything about it because the system's in it. Same way with these S-400 systems, man. You had radars from around the way or whatever, and if they don't have a launcher close by, they'll communicate to a launcher that's somewhere downfield, and that bad boy will take off, man. All right, so, I mean, this shit is serious, man. All right. But, hey, we was going into, we'll get to it. It says, verse 5. Persian, Ethiopia, Libya, all of them with shields and helmet. Gomer and all his bands in the house of Tomorgah, and of the north quarters and all his bands and many people with thee. All right, just a point here, verse 7. Be thou prepared. All right, and this is what you see in Russia do. We were reading an article how they're advancing their military or their weaponry and things like that, man. They're bringing everything back as far as economics. They're also cutting out, because in war, what good is having all these tanks and planes and warships and everything like that if you ain't got no goddamn gas? If you got to buy all your fuel from America and you fight in America, all they got to do is stop selling you fuel and you ain't got no tanks, planes, and warships, man. So they also get into the, we call it the energy sector, more or less to say, dealing with natural gases and things like that, man. All right. It says, be thou prepared and prepare thyself. Thou, all right, like Russia's developing their own weaponry and things like that. And all the company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Because, see, like I said, only America, but despite what anybody else tell you, only America and Russia is the only people that's got the smarts to be able to make these nuclear weapons, right? And they're the only people that, by law can really even make these things. But they're the only people that got the say-so, the know-how to do all these things. Because you got to think about it. Esau was blessed with the sword, man. That's his blessing. And Russia and America, they both Edomites. But nevertheless, when you look at all these other countries, they just buy the weapons from America, man. All right, that's what they doing. They just buying the weaponry from, well, either America or Russia, right? But Russia is also the ones that's being a guard to these other nations like Syria. All right, they put, I think, the S-300 out in Syria, and that's why you don't hear about America bombing over there no more. All right, they put an S-300 out there in Venezuela. That's why you don't hear about that out there no more. They over there trying to steal that country. They put an S-400 out there in Turkey. This is why America and their own NATO allies are falling out, because America's pissed about those things, right? And you having the how you say the so-called blowback of America trying to get up into part of Ukraine. You got the split with Ukraine, but America trying to get them to be a NATO ally, but they ain't, or they saying they're ally or they're a friend. They're not an ally and they're not a NATO member, because they know, hey, you don't want to smoke with Russia like that, man. You trying to tiptoe up in there, but all Russia got to do is really lay down the line, man, because they got way more advanced weaponry than you do, man. All right. But hey, Russia's being preparing itself, whether it's upgrading their infrastructure, their import and exporting, which will give them more money to be able to do a lot more things and to be self-sufficient without America. All right, but they're also upgrading their weaponry system and things like that, and also the relations with people around them, which they don't really even got to upgrade the relationships with people around them, because America's screwing up that relationship, making these other nations just run to America, man. So, hey, man, in a time like this, we were just reading an article how America's just now spending money to research on how to upgrade their old ass weapons from World War II. All right, or at the end of World War II, right? Russia's already then upgraded their damn weapons from World War II. Now they coming up to a whole nother era of weaponry, where America's just trying to test out all these different things, man. Like they trying to test out hypersonic weapons. Well, Russia's already got one, man. All right. Jeremiah 51, verse 11, right? Make bright the arrows. So going into this, right, like I was saying about these new smart weapons that they got, right? These are these new smart missiles, bro. They got some shit out there, man. They got some crazy shit out there. They got what they call it? They even got smart bullets, like regular guns with smart bullets. They got heat-seeking bullets that can turn and change directions and everything like that, man. They got all kind of crazy shit, man. But nevertheless, like I forgot what they call them, but they got these nuclear powered, not like a nuclear war, not like a nuclear bomb, but the fuel source is a nuclear powered cruise missile, right? So really it's got an unlimited supply of fuel, meaning they can shoot one of these missiles off today and have that bad boy just circling the globe indefinite, forever. Next 50 years, you see this bad boy still flying around, man. All right, because it's got an unlimited fuel range, man. All right. But not only that, making them bright, you know, those same missiles, all right, can, again, like the Saramat 2 missile, they can change its path mid-flight, man. All right, so like with the nuclear power cruise missiles, if you try shooting this bad boy down, getting your fighter jets behind it or whatever, whatnot, it'll go faster, slower, speed up, or go up higher, go down lower, go to the left, go to the right, change targets. Again, if another missile blow up its target, all right, well, reroute and we're going to keep flying. Even if that shit's another 5,000 miles off, we'll just fly to the next target. By the time something hit that, we'll pick up and go to the next one. All right, so making bright the arrows, gather the shields. All right, those S300, S400, 500, and so on and so forth. They got one that they developed in the S500. They developing that, the Prometheus one, but the S900, they're saying that they can basically hit a nuclear missile while it's still in the silo, wherever it's at on the globe. So if they want to hit these American missiles in their silos with this new shit, which they ain't really got it in production, you know, they can pretty much knock that bad boy out. All right. It says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. Right? This is why, you know, we're reading, he's going to put the hooks back into their jaws, bring them forth. This is why the only thing in their mind is like, look, man, let us develop basically military stuff, but we're going to develop the things that's going to help us be sustainable. All right? So like I said, man, why go to war when you got to buy oil from America and their allies and things like that if you plan on going to war with them? All right? So let's just cut them out and we'll get our own natural gas, start pulling up natural gas, and we'll start selling this so we can make more money. All right? What's raising up our GDP, you know, the economics and everything like that. All right? But also we can become self-sufficient when it comes to fighting this here war. If we go to war with America, we keep funding our side with all the fuel that we need. All right. So as you know, when Vladimir Putin got in office, this is when all these things started coming to pass. Now he's been in office since George Bush was in office. This has been quite a while. He's been over there. But nevertheless, this is when you start seeing Russia coming back. All right, coming back to that position. But with one mindset and one thing in mind, man. All right, and Vladimir Putin been a homeboy, been thug life the whole way through, man. He's just like, look, man, my mind is set in where I'm going, and if anybody want to get in our way, that's not gonna be our fault. It's gonna be y'all fault. I only got got a little. Hey, I wish that y'all would talk to y'all people, because I don't want to have to sit here and smoke all y'all ass over there, because y'all civilians ain't did shit to me, but it's y'all politicians. But if the civilians don't get the politicians in check, then I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do. I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. All right. But ultimately, like the scripture is saying. We'll actually grab that and close out there. But like the scriptures say, you know, this is all being directed by the Lord anyway. All right. Going back, Jeremiah 51 and 11, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes for his device. Or what is his device? Those thermonuclear missiles. All right. Also, the missile defense systems is against Babylon. All right. Which is America. To do what? To destroy it. All right. And those thermonuclear missiles, those intercontinental ballistic missiles, are going to destroy the whole land over here. It says why? Because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. So this is how the Lord's going to get that payback on America, man. This is how he's going to, get that vengeance. All right. It says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambush. For Yahweh hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. All right. So look, ultimately, the Lord is gonna the Lord is gonna ultimately wipe this place off the face of the earth. All right. Let me jump down to verse. Let me just read from here. Verse 28. It says, prepare against her the nations with. All right. So as we were reading in Ezekiel 38 about how prepare thyself and all the nations that are with thee. All right. And there's going to be a great company of nations. All right. It says, prepare against her the nations with the king of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. All right. So they're going to all come up under basically up under the shadow or the umbrella of Russia, man. All right. And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon. All right. To do what? To make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitants. Like I was going into on that Satan 2 missile, right? They say is basically dubbed the Texas killer because it can pretty much one of those missiles, like when you see those missiles, man, one of those missiles can take out the whole land of Texas, man. All right. So just imagine that. You know what I'm saying? They would only need, 50 some odd missiles to take out every land that's here or every state that's here in America, which I don't think there's no state as wide as Texas as far as, size go that way. So basically all the other lands could pretty much, all the other states in America could be wiped out with just less than that, man. All right. But ultimately when they go into these prophecies, right, you understand now why, and you go into the technology that they have and the weaponry they have, now you'll understand why the scriptures talk about things talking about a lake of fire, man. All right, because the whole place is going to be bombarded with these missiles, man. Or why the scriptures talking about the earth reeling to and fro like a drunkard. All right, because when like I said, one of these Satan 2 missiles or the vehicles can house up to 15 different warheads inside of it, man. All right. It says, hey, it's just like, you got a shotgun, what they call I think it's a bird shot, I think it is, where it's like you got one slug, but inside that slug, you might have 100 different BBs in there, man. All right, that's going to come out and just spread. All right. Let me read 29 again. And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitants. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They have become as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken down. All right, man, let me keep reading. One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that a city is taken at one end, and that the passengers are stopped, and the reeds they have burned with fire, and the men of war were frightened. All right, because ultimately, once they you see it sometimes in these movies, and oh, I gotta read this too, but we'll close out with that. Matter of fact, what was that precept I said? Lord willing, it'll come back to me. But nevertheless, both of these are Jeremiah 50 and 51 are great chapters to read about these things. But yeah, I'm not gonna go into it. But nevertheless, when you see a lot of these movies and things like that, man, they'll simulate, or not simulate. They'll show like, oh man, they launched all their missiles or whatever, whatnot, and then they know it's all over for their ass, man. They even have what they call the doomsday clock. All right, and they know about the doomsday clock, man, when they talk about, look, that's when we're going to just go into a nuclear holocaust, man. All right, and they know that this is how it's all going to end in a so-called nuclear holocaust, man. All right, and what's the nuclear holocaust? First of all, they got what they call MAD, mutual assured destruction. Russia got what they call a dead hand system, in which this system is old as shit. But if America was to launch one nuke, or anybody was to launch one nuke over in Russia, they don't need no human beings over there. All right, they got these systems that if they detect, you know what I'm saying, certain seismic, certain things, the seismic activity and a certain amount of radiation going up in the air, they launch off one missile off into the air, which is basically a radio beacon, which contacts all the other missiles and all the other silos and all the other equipment. And that shit goes off to all their enemies, and it launches off their whole entire stockpile, because they understand, like I said, mutual assured destruction. And once you launch off one, we don't know if we'll have enough time to make a response. You may make us, render us how they say, like pretty much out the game, more or less, to say, to be able to do anything. So we might as well just go ahead and launch once we see one in the air. So no nation is going to only just launch one. They're going to launch all that they have, because they know shit, the response, we don't know if we'll be able to launch another response after their response. So we just got to launch everything all at once, man. And this is what's going to turn this here place into the lake of fire. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. I couldn't think of that other precept that I had in mind. Oh, yeah, I know what it is now. This is Proverbs 21:1. All right. Because I was going into about how Vladimir Putin, as soon as he came into office, seems like he's been on this here agenda from day one, man. All right. And it seems like he hadn't been taking his mind off the prize. Proverbs 21:1, it says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. All right. So look, you know, like we just read about how the device of the king of the Medes, let me just grab it so I don't butcher it. Jeremiah 51:11, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes. So, see, the king's heart is in the hand of the Most High, man. The Most High put his spirit on Vladimir Putin to do all these things, man. All right. It says, the Lord has raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes for his device, which is his device. All right. His device is going to be those thermonuclear missiles. For his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. So all these things are going into this ain't the precept. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? I think actually it's not in here. It's right here. Isaiah 13:5. They come from a far country, meaning, you know, from one continent to another continent, intercontinental ballistic missiles. They come from a far country, even the end of heaven, even Yahweh and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. So we just read about how, look, the device of the king of the Medes, first of all, the Lord is working on the minds of the king of the Medes. For his device is to accomplish the Most High's will. All right, what that device is what? It says, and even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to do what? To destroy the whole land. All right, and these things are going to destroy the land of Babylon over here, man. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord, when this here lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, we say, Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and our will. And salutation and much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth, and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Till next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.